Welcome back to Case Break Analysis. I'm JT with another Case Break simulation. Today we have 2022-23 Panini Prizm Premier League Soccer. Ignore this breakaway. This is actually going to be a review and simulation of the hobby product. If you've never seen my channel before, I'm going to give you a ton of information, not only the review, but also prices and strength of checklist for each team so that when you buy into breaks, you know what you're doing. Or if you're just buying hobby boxes, you know what to expect. Background on this product. Well, first a disclaimer. If you take my advice, please just be careful and spend your money. Don't spend money you don't have. Sometimes buying into breaks is a gamble, and I'm not responsible for losing money, but I do stand behind my analysis. I've actually made purchases based on my analysis, and I have gotten hits based on that. So that's some validation that I was excited about. Panini Prizm is essentially Panini's biggest product. It's kind of their baseline product. I think I've seen that there's a Panini paper kind of top Series 1 Panini type product, but this Panini Prizm is the pinnacle of the brand. It's just basically the best. So it's like Topps Chrome, but I don't even really know that there's a base paper version of these cards. The Prizm technology is patented, although I couldn't find the patent because I wanted to kind of look into what it is. But it basically, if you haven't seen a Prizm card, I think you might have been living under a rock. But if you are new to collecting, it just gives a reflective surface so that it could create kind of a rainbow-like effect with light hitting it like a prism would. Just think physics class in high school. There's a lot of color variations of each base card, so that makes collecting this set a lot of fun. Set builders, rainbow collectors, they go after a lot of these. There's tons and tons of different color variations. Photography is always an action shot as far as I know, except for maybe Prizm draft cards, where a player would be holding up a jersey. But these Prizm cards, they typically have action photography, and they kind of try to display like what type of player and athlete this person is. So if it's a goalie, they'd be standing in the goal, maybe holding the ball or waiting. Whereas if it's an offensive player, they'd be running, maybe dribbling the ball. Insert sets. I think that Prizm has probably the best insert sets of any product that I've seen, excluding products where memorabilia are considered an insert. The color blast, the kaleidoscope is amazing, and I think that Panini, while they have a huge problem sticking with themes for their insert cards, Prizm's kind of like this, the physics of light. They do a decent job, and I think because it's become kind of their standard baseline product for all collectors, you can deviate from that a little bit with like Instant Impact, for example. So what do you get? You're going to get 12 cards per pack, which is actually really good for a hobby pack. 12 packs per box, which is also about average for a hobby box of a product like this. And then you're going to get 12 boxes per case. So not a bad pull there. And then per box, you're going to get one autograph. Keep that in mind. 4 base silver prisms. Then you're going to get 5 numbered prisms. It says numbered base prisms, but these are numbered prisms in the color parallels, which you'll see below. And then 8 additional base prisms. I just copy that straight off of GoGTS.net, so that's why it says base. I don't change that. That's not my. If I'm going to source something, I'm going to quote them directly. And then you're going to get 6 insert cards. And again, in this product, insert cards are pretty good. So here's kind of what your base card's going to look like. Even though there's a silver prism, this looks like this is a regular base card, and it has like a silver sheen to it. You can't see it because this is a computer rendering in their marketing materials, but there would be a light shine. If you go to eBay or whatever, you'll see what that looks like. Here's all the parallels. There's a gajillion of them. There's literally a gajillion. I think that's a scientific statistical number of how many parallels there are. The majority of parallels in this product are serial numbered, but some of them are not. So I did have to, because I was not able to extrapolate or assess the print run based on some of the odds that they provide. Sometimes products I can figure out the print run by them saying there's going to be exactly this many autographs per box, and then I could say, well, if all the autographs are serial numbered, then I can figure out how many boxes there are, right? Well, that's not the case with Prizm. Prizm's a huge product. There's just tons and tons of cards. So I did make some assumptions about all of the non-numbered parallels. You'll see that below. And then all the ones that are serial numbered, I carried that over. Now this is a hobby analysis and simulation, so the breakaway and the choice are not included in this analysis. So when you see the simulation, it shouldn't have breakaway and choice. If it does, I messed up, and I'll probably have to cut the video, redo it, and then redo that part of the video. Here's kind of here's a parallel here. I'm not sure which one's probably black Prizm. I'm not sure. It'd be a 101. And then this one, I don't even know what that is either. A lot of designs. I'm actually thinking about putting a video together that does illustrate all the designs. And then here's kind of what the marketing stuff says on gogts.net. You're going to get an autograph per box. There's some short printed dual autos in there. These are just, I'm just going to do the highlights. I'm not going to read every bullet here. But Color Blast, they're calling ultra rare, which according to Blowout Cards forums is going to be between 10 to there's a lot of people saying between 10 and 25, but I'm going to stick between 10 and 15 for anything that's labeled ultra rare, whereas Topps would call that super short print, SSP. And then rare is going to be a little bit more common, but still rare for other things. So I'm going with ultra rare here. I think I assume these would be out of 15. There's going to be very few of them in it. And a product this size, it's going to be hard to get those Color Blast cards. So we'll see in the simulation how that, if we got any, but we'll go from there. And then there are some of these new ultra rare, again, very low print run, groovy cards, and I think we saw something like that in the football edition, maybe psychedelic or something like that. But these groovy cards, they're not bad actually, and with the soccer theme, I think it looks better than with the American football version of this. Kaleidoscope's one of my favorite inserts that I've seen so far. I like the geometric shapes. I just did an obsidian video, and I think that all of those shapes and lines make the cards look really cool. Same thing here. You'll see a kaleidoscope example below, and then we'll go from there. And then it says fractal will be a big chase. We'll see. I don't know. I couldn't find an example of a soccer fractal card. And there's also one, it's called Sublime, which I don't think is in this description, and that I couldn't find an example of either. So, but it was in the checklist, so keep your eye out for that. And then here's everything else. Okay, let's just get back into it. So the autographs, obviously, this looks like a sticker. I'm kind of sick of Panini putting stickers on things, but I understand. Some of these players might not send things back timely, or it's just easier. But I think you really need to get an on-card auto for these, especially when Bowman Chrome and Topps Chrome typically have on-card autos. You need to compete. Color Blast obviously is amazing. I love Color Blast. And in Obsidian, they had the Color Blast black background. I think the white background's better. And you can actually see in a lot of products that other companies are trying to mimic this look. This white background, I don't think people really... I think it was underestimated for a long, long time. And Color Blast, when that came onto the market, it hit huge and everyone loves it. It's very, very valuable. These cards are worth a ton. And you're starting to see some of this white background type of design in Topps and Upper Deck now too. There's Groovy. Groovy's interesting. I don't really understand. I guess it's probably because it's just like a throwback. But this card really has the feel of a Topps Project 100. There was an artist in the Project 100 that had cards that looked really, really similar to this. I wonder if the artist who did that is the same. And then Fireworks, there's an example of that. And Kaleidoscope, I think this looks great. This is a cool card here. I like, they kind of put the name of the insert center stage, which isn't as common as I had previously thought. You know, it usually sits in the background like that, but it's right there in the front. I think that's cool. It carries the theme of, you know, prism and light and kind of bending light with mirrors and all that stuff. So it's pretty sweet. And then Instant Impact, that's kind of a staple in Panini Prizm. On Steel City, you can find this case for $35.49.95. I again use Steel City because I think that breakers will get a discount that will be less than this, and then they might mark it up to about this price. If I'm wrong, I don't know, but I have no clue what the distributor price is of these cards. So if you have inside information on distribution costs and what the markups might be for a breaker, let me know. I'm trying to use break prices for this section because this is broken out by team. So when we look at the team checklist, we look at the number of autographs per team and how the price of that case, $35, $49, $95, would be distributed if all autographs were priced at the exact same price. So what I'm saying there is that there's a unique sets of autographs for Chelsea is 154. But if you consider the print runs, which again some of them I estimated, we have about 5,500 individual autograph cards from Chelsea. If we were to assign the same dollar value to every autograph in this set, so if all of you bought every case, you would have paid the same for every card, right? Well, then we can distribute the cost of that case across the teams equally, so that when you consider the number of autographs in there, obviously there aren't going to be a lot of people paying $700 for one team. There's only 20 teams in the case. I mean, it costs almost $3,600 after tax and stuff. So some of these teams are going to have to be expensive, or you're going to have to do a random team break, which I will mention early is not a good idea to jump into a random team break on this particular product. I would just go into products that have team breaks or pick your team, PYT. That way you can select the team you want, especially if you're an investor, because if you do a random team break and you get one of these lower teams, I mean, you're really risking a lot. Look at the difference in autographs between the lowest, and this isn't even the lowest. This is number 10. This is the middle, and the highest. We're talking thousands and thousands different. There's so many autographs from Chelsea and Manchester United. So that is the distribution. Now, if you use this number here, some people use this unique sets number that comes off a lot of the checklist websites. Try to use this number. This is a better number. This column here tells you exactly how many there should be by print run, again, with my estimates. Now, if you want to see the lowest number, and the reason why I mention that is because sometimes, like if you look here, if I sort this by actual print run, there's like 32, 30. Sometimes there's a huge disparity here. Like you might have Manchester City have 65, but this Liverpool team might actually have more when you explode the print run because they're numbered higher, serial number to 299 or whatever. And in this case, when you think about price, you're trying to get the cards that you have the highest probability for. Because I know in your brain you're thinking, well, I would pay more for rarer cards. Not in a break. In a break, your only goal is to acquire as many cards as you can possibly acquire. That is all about probability. And the more cards there are, the higher probability there is for you to get a hit. That's why you would pay more. You're paying for probability. You're not paying for rarity. If you want to pay for rarity, buy the cards as singles once they've already been pulled. Now, if you're an insert collector, you're searching for insert cards, it's different. It might be different than the autograph checklist. There are Manchester City, Liverpool, and Arsenal have the most insert cards. These are non-autograph insert cards, but it does include insert cards that have a color parallel version. And if you're seeking these inserts, here's about the distribution. A lot better, much more even across the board because it's easier to put a good number of inserts and it's harder to get autographs from all these players. You know, it's harder to get them to send them back. And here's the teams, the 10 worst for inserts, and it's not that bad. I mean, there's 1,500 of the lowest Everton, and there's 45 of the highest Manchester City. Whereas when you look at the total number of autograph, you see Chelsea has 5,600 or 5,500 if we want to kind of give a little slack for my estimates. And then you have a couple that have 0, and then you have like Crystal Palace only has 200. That's a huge, huge, huge disparity. So be careful. Pay less for lower probability hits. I know that you're thinking in your head, strength. It's coming. I'm going to talk about checklist strength, and we're going to do the same thing for price on checklist strength. A lot of you soccer fans probably have never seen my videos before, so that's why I'm explaining things a little more than I normally do. Now, if you're going for those parallels, those color parallels, and this is just for base color parallels. So the insert parallels, those are in this column. Those would be in these print runs. The print runs of the actual base. Now, I had to assume some things about The silver, which on blowout forums, people are saying that the silver's at about 999 to 1,000. Obviously that's only one number difference. So I made that assumption that silver prisms are printed at 1,000 each card, which makes this total number very high. And then there's a bunch in between for the parallels that are not numbered. But if we just make that assumption across all the non-numbered parallels, and we treat each one equally, like a blue shimmer or whatever, blue swizzle, whatever parallel it is, as long as it's the same for each player, and I don't change that print run. So if I say that a blue shimmer is 25, and I do that, it's going to be fine. Or the distribution of the cost is going to be fine. So don't worry about that. So if we look at parallels, now we're talking an even more kind of rounded out. And I would actually say that this is probably around what the prices are that you'll see. I'm not sure that there's going to be this high for teams like Everton, but these case breakers aren't doing this for free, so they're going to have to make some money. So you're going to find somewhere in between. But if you're specifically seeking parallels, don't be afraid to pay a little more, like in the 200 range for some of these teams. But if you're looking for autographs, obviously, like if you pay 200 for, let's see, like Fulham, let's see, and I'm not British, so if I'm saying that in a terrible way, now you may overpay. You're going to pay near $200, but if you're an autograph seeker and you do that, you're kind of not doing a smart thing. So that's why I do that. Keep in mind how many cards there are per set. Now let's talk about strength, checklist strength. Checklist strength is a measure of how popular and oftentimes how talented a player is, if I can find those metrics. For this one, it's just popularity. So I go and I find what is the frequency at which people in the following countries, United States, Canada, and Great Britain, are searching for players' memorabilia and sports cards. I get those numbers back, and then I create a strength, 1 through 5. Based on that popularity, I'm able to determine whether or not a player, when you pull that player from a product, does it have popularity? Does that player have popularity in the sports card world enough to where you can make a profit and sell quickly? So a 4 or a 5 means that you'll probably sell that card at a profit. You'll make money. And that, what I mean by profit is, if you consider a baseline autograph worth about $10 to $12, you'll obviously sell that for more. Average, that's 3. That's going to be that $12 autograph, the $8 relic card that you'd see in like Beckett. And then a 1 or a 2, you might sell at a loss, or you might not sell that card at all. It's just going to sit in your collection until you give it away. So I have this rating system. It's equal for all sports. So if there's a sport that's not very popular, I normalize the data, and I'm able to put it on the same exact scale. So products are all equally evaluated for their checklist. 64% of this checklist falls between a 4 or a 5. That means that 64% of the autographs, that's specifically to the autographs, 64% of the autograph subjects that you pull out of this product should be profitable. That's a really, really high number for Panini. It's usually not that high, especially with a product like Prizm, which has more. It has the opportunity for them to kind of water it down with more rookies and unknown players. But with soccer, there's only 20 teams, and those teams are all aggressively pursuing success. Unlike baseball, where you have a lot of teams that are looking to lose, the checklist is actually really good. The only problem I have with this checklist is that, or with soccer in particular, is that the geographic interest, it does create issues for shipping. I don't know if you figured out international shipping, but I've gotten burned a few times on that. But I think eBay has come a long way with that. The highlights of this product are obviously the insert cards. And if you're a rainbow collector, then collect the rainbow. This product gets a total of 3.8 out of 5, and that is for autographs and inserts and parallels and base cards. That's for everything. And I will give a rank by team, which I do here, but I want to show you the strength. So of the teams that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiered strength for those players, what is the team with the most value? And I would not recommend paying this price. If you have the capability of paying $700 just for one team, you might want to just buy a case for yourself. That way you could have all the teams. And obviously you got to put another $3,000 on that. But I mean, if you're spending $700 on one team, I don't think that's how the price will be distributed. I think it'll probably look more like the inserts and parallel prices that I show you. But but I'm telling you, there's enough value in Manchester United and Chelsea that you can get far and away more value out of those two teams. I mean, we're talking David. I think David Beckham's Manchester United. I don't know a lot about soccer, but I looked at the checklist. There's a lot of valuable autographs in this set. So by autograph, here's the order of the strength by popularity, and then here's the here are the worst 11 through 20. Here's the weakest team is going to, on autograph, obviously, are going to be these two because they don't have any autographs. And then the Wanderers are going to be your worst with autographs. So be careful when you're looking to pay. Remember, you might lose money on certain teams because they're just not popular enough. So there you go there. Now we can do insert cards. Here's your top 10 strongest checklists for inserts. Obviously, it's a little different than the autographs. There's better print runs for different teams. And then here are the worst for the inserts. And then here's that for parallels. There you go. Manchester City wins again. And then the bottom for parallels on strength of checklist. Now for the full product, even though Manchester United has the strongest checklist for autographs, the actual strongest team, the team that you could probably justify paying the highest price for based on the probability that you'll get a card that will return a profit. It will return a profitable investment for you. I would go with Manchester City. Liverpool, this is a new stat that I haven't put in other products, so this is the rank by team, and these are the weakest teams. And this would be in cases like this team, which I don't want to pronounce because the my British friends will probably just be in the comments section angry. This is a team where you'd see a lot of missing cards from certain insert sets and parallels, and you'll probably not get a lot of profitable return on that. So just keep that in mind. That's the strength of the checklist. And now I have been giving out interest of the product over time. However, there haven't been that many Panini Prizm soccer products, so there's too little data in order to tell you how long you should hold your cards before selling. Not how long you should hold them, but what's the longest you should hold them, so that you need to dump them. Like the last product, Obsidian, I believe it had about a 24-month fall off, where if you don't sell them within 2 years, and that makes sense for American football because that's when a lot of rookies who sit their first year, we wind up finding out how they are. So about 2 years after that product comes out, you got to get rid of them or else you're just going to hold them forever. This product doesn't have enough data, so we're just going to skip that chart there. It's kind of stupid to even show it, but I want to keep it in there. Popularity over the last 12 months for each of the players, and that popularity is converted to tiers like I described before, where 5 is high ROI and 1 is probably not even, you'll probably lose money and not sell the card. The distribution of this checklist is really good. I mean, it is really good. It's like I said, 65% of the autographs alone fall in a 4 or a 5. So it looks to be about that for the full checklist. And this is based on internet interest for sports cards and memorabilia. So this is a great product. Even though it's a 3.8 for the full checklist, the 65%, that's a number you should remember. If you're an investor, get in on this product because there's a lot to like about it. All right, number of cards per team. Let's see. So you probably see this unique cards per team on a lot of the checklist websites. This includes base, inserts, parallels, autographs, everything that's in the set. There are 754 different Chelsea cards. Well, if we look at the print runs, including the ones I've estimated, there should be about 108,000 Chelsea cards. So they have a lot. And so we're actually going to sort by the number of cards because the print run's more important than the number of sets. Even though, like this one right here, see there's 545 and there's 544, but this one's higher because with the print run, we have more cards for Brighton and Hove Albion. Boy, that's a great team name. Brighton and Hove Albion. I could see that chant. I'm sure it's like B&H or something like that when you chant it. Anyway, that's just off to the side rant. So yeah, you can see here even... okay, never mind. I was confused by this one here. I thought this one. Never mind. So this is the order by total number of cards, and there's the teams. Here's the teams with the least amount. Take screenshots. That's all. The only reason I'm showing these is so you could take screenshots so you know which teams to buy. By print run, there are 595 one-of-ones. People are always asking online, how could that be? How can you have that many one-of-ones? Well, because you make too many one-of-ones. There's actually, it's more rare to find a 1 of 2 than it is to find a 1 of 1. So of the cards numbered to 2, there are 5 unique ones. That means the print run explodes to 10. And same thing for 3, same thing for 4, same thing for 6 and 7. There are, and I think some of these, like a 7, I think I did that because there was a set that looked like all of the non-numbered ones were fit in between numbered ones that were 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just added in like 7 and 6. So that might not even be the case, but again, whatever these are, I did my research on blowout forums and I figured out whether or not they were low print runs. So they should be pretty accurate. But anyway, there's 595 1-of-1s. And if you want a 1-of-1, here's the teams you need to buy. Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool. If you want to avoid teams with low numbers of 1-of-1s, again, all the teams are going to have 1-of-1s because there's a 1-of-1 for every base card. So there they are. There's 22 for Bournemouth. Yeah, if there's a phonetic pronunciation of that you want me to know, put it in the comments section. So there's the ones with the least, there's the ones with the most. I'm not going to go over all these other ones. Just the 1-of-1s are the ones that matter. Now, card types and quantities. I'm only showing you this so you know what's rare, because oftentimes you might think, well, Club Legend Signature Prisms, actually that checklist is about 20 players. Well, that might be true, but they also might have a higher print run. Some of them might be 1, some of them might be 2, 3, 4. And that happens a lot, especially in Upper Deck. It happens where the same exact card insert or variation has different print runs by player, especially for autographs when the player doesn't return all the cards. You know, Giannis did that a while ago. So the rarest two cards in this set, if you get a Club Legend Signature Prizm Black or a Dual Signatures Prizm Black, you are getting the rarest cards in the set. There is a 1-of-1, and there are 5 different ones of those. And then, and if you hear a bunch of noises, that's just my computer's telling me I have meetings coming up, but hey, don't worry about it. Dual Signatures Gold then is going to be a print run to 2. So these are your rarest cards. If you pull them, now you know. It might not be, this card, which has a print run to 8. You're like, boy, I got a really rare card. Not really. There's 160 of them. So there you go. And we're talking, we are sorted by the total number of cards. All right, so my simulation, I do simulate this product. I simulate 20 cases, and here are the results of 20 case break simulations. Here's the result of the 20th case, and I only do this just to show you that I have done it. So here's the results, and there's 87 pages. We've got 1,728 cards, and I have it all done based on, if you want to know how I do it, I think I put it all here. And then I have more below. But I will go over some of the highlights of that case break. Plus, what I'm going to do next after this is I'm going to aggregate all 20 case breaks and tell you, how that looks, so that if there are any anomalies in the one case break, we smooth those out. So for the one case, for case number 20, here's the number of cards by team. And so why I show you this is a realistic example of a case break. And so you might look at all my other data and be like, he told me the most cards were Manchester City. Yeah, but look what happens when we simulate a real case break. Arsenal is the team that came out on top. And here's the team that came out on bottom, Leeds and Crystal Palace. So keep that in mind. This is a realistic example of a case break. I do this based on the odds and the stated kind of configuration of packs. And I do watch some of the breaks from the previous years. So there you go. Notable cards for this one case break. In case break 20, I did get a 1-of-1. I did look back and look at case break number 1, and I didn't get any 1-of-1s. So it does take more than one case to get a 1-of-1, but sometimes you get a hit. And so the Scorers Club Prizm Black for Riyad Mahrez is a 1-of-1. So that's cool. So in one case break, I got one 1-of-1. And then here's some of the highlights. I got a bunch of these kaleidoscopes, which I think have some commonality there, and that I didn't get any color blasts or anything like that. Now for 20 cases, here are the interesting cards that we got. For all 20 case break notable cards. Oh, I think I just did black. Oh no, these are the one of ones. That's why it says right there, one of ones. I should just read my own stuff. So in 20 cases, I was able to get 3, 6, what is that? 3, 6, 9 one of ones. So I took 20 cases to get 9 one of ones. So I think the expectation there is you could get about what 1.9 one of ones per case, or I mean, what is that? Half. Sorry guys, for every 2 cases, there's about 1.9 one of ones, right? So that's what that means basically. 1.8, 1.9, somewhere in there. Notable cards. I did get a color blast. I got a couple color blasts. Let's sort this by name. Oh, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for 20 cases, I was able to get 6 color blasts. I got 2 for David Beckham, Reece James, Richarlison. I don't know how to say that. And then all these other guys. All right. And then kaleidoscopes. And there's 193 notable cards. That's pretty good. I'm not going to go over all of them. That's too many. All right. So for all 20 cases, let's see, what team did we get the most of? Chelsea. So it did kind of normalize and fix some of the anomalies with Arsenal being on top in the one case. We actually did get most of Chelsea. Manchester City and Manchester United still aren't at the top. So that's interesting. So these are realistic, guys. By the way, I put a lot of work into these simulations. These are the teams that had the least amount of cards. And then for print runs, I did get some one of ones as I showed before. I was able to get 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, like I counted before twice. So Manchester United, Manchester City, and Liverpool had 2 one of ones, and then I had these. So you need to buy 20 cases. But if you're looking for high probability, I can't really say that the difference between 0 and 2 is really high. It's not. But Manchester United, and Liverpool gave me more than every other team. Okay, so that's for print runs. And then by card type, for autographs, we got 44 Chelsea autographs, 33 Arsenal. And remember, these are 1 per box. So we have 240 boxes. So we had 240 autographs. And that's the distribution of those autographs by team. So if you're looking for a realistic probability, here, Chelsea is going to be your best chance of getting an autograph. And then for inserts, Liverpool is going to have a good amount. Manchester City, there you go. And the least amount, there they are. And then parallels, take a screenshot of the most and the least. And I'll do the least on autographs again because I don't think I did it. There's the least for autographs. Take your screenshots. Now you know what to do. So my overall recommendation, I think that this product might be the best Prizm product that I've seen. The inserts are incredible. Panini, this product actually, as I looked through it, made me realize that Panini probably assigns the sports to different teams of designers and checklist builders, because this is like way better than all of their other Prizm products. If I collected soccer cards, I would buy this product because it's so nice looking, and I think it's going to have a lot of good resale value. The insert sets, including ones that aren't short prints, are great. You could collect them and they'll look good. If you like to display your cards, I think the chrome stock that they use here is really nice. And there are many color parallels, so the Rainbow Addicts, go ahead and collect those. And I think that there's not enough information really here for long-term ROI, but I think it's there. I do think it's there. It will follow football and basketball. Rookie cards will be their rookie cards. They'll be iconic. So who should buy this product? Casual collectors, yes, buy both. Slab, people who love to get things graded, yep, buy both. You'll get good grading. These cards grade well. They're durable. Investors go in. Set builders, yes. Kids, yes. So basically everyone buy. When I say don't buy, sometimes what I mean is just wait for the singles to come out and just buy those card by card. But I think that getting in and buying some of these hobby, even though they're expensive, kids probably can't afford it, but I don't think this product is exclusively a high-end product that kids shouldn't touch. So yeah, everyone could buy. The only thing I'm going to caution you about is the random team breaks, because there is such a disparity between the top team and the bottom team. Don't buy into random team breaks. It's a gamble, and we want to make breaks as little. We want to make it the least similar to gambling as possible. And the only way to do that is to know what you're buying. And that's why I do these videos. Thanks for watching. That is 2022-23 Panini Prizm Soccer. Enjoy the breaks, guys. Enjoy this product, and see you later.